Hello, guys, and welcome to the newest episode of the Just Another Castle podcast, also known as the My Gen Nintendo podcast. I am back. I know that I was gone for a week. I'm sure Matt did a great job. I haven't had a chance to listen to the last podcast yet, but I am back. With me today, we have Flia.
Hola.
He exists. He's here. He's alive. We got Matt.
I'm a butt.
All right. We got Mike.
Giggity.
And myself, Eli, Paula Salon. So today, as always, we'll begin with what we've been playing. And honestly, I've been so incredibly busy with school stuff and exams. I haven't really had much time to play anything. I played a little bit of Smash Bros. I played a little bit of Gunman and Clive 2, which is fun. I mean, there's not really much I can talk about. But I do want to say, this is kind of related to the news, but I've turned in my amiibo hunts into part of this weekly segment as well. And did you guys see the new Villager restock?
Yeah. Nintendo said later today that they have announced that they will restock every amiibo.
Well, not everyone, but they said that they will try to. But the problem was that they released a picture of the Villager amiibo, and the new forehead is way bigger than the old forehead, okay? Now let me just say, everyone was making fun of me for paying $112 for this old Villager amiibo in his box. But do you know how rare of an item I have right now? The fact that his forehead is small, okay? It's a first edition run. Now, on a side note, this is really bad because now I'm like trying to find a first edition Marth because I'm sure when they re-release him, there's going to be something different. So I'm probably going to end up spending like $100 on Marth. But the good news is, once I spend that money on Marth, I'm going to be pretty golden because then I'll have a full first collection set, which I think is pretty important because it'd be bad if I had a first collection set of everything minus Marth or whatever.
I don't know if I will get all the amiibos, but my objective is to have all the roosters from the Smash. The original Smash. I mean, not with the DLC or anything. The original Smash rooster.
That's still 48 characters for you.
That's like $700.
That's okay, because I'm gonna. Well, as I said, I've been pretty good earlier about making my money back and like kind of breaking even in the end. But I don't know if that's going to be a possibility anymore. I mean, they just came out with the new allotments, also part of the news. Like each Best Buy location is only getting like two Lucinas and two Robins, which is really scary. So pretty much I'm probably going to be camping out on the 29th somewhere, trying to secure an amiibo because, I mean, I have Rosalina amiibo to trade, but I'm just probably going to go to Target because last time I got so many Rosalinas from Target. I'm hoping that their stock this time is going to be kind of similar, which is good, which would be good. But I don't know. This is not good. Nintendo is screwing everyone over.
Yeah, everyone.
They released a Twitter, I think 2 hours ago, saying that they will try to restock every amiibo and keep up with this demand.
No, well, the official statement, alright, I'll pull up the official statement since we're bringing it up. It didn't sound like they were restocking every amiibo, and they still said that there would be shortages, but they said they were apologizing for what was happening, and they said, please understand, and they said they'd make a better effort at trying to get these amiibo. Now, while I try to find this, why don't we move on to Mike? Mike, what have you been playing?
I'm at the last chapter of Danganronpa 2, or Super Danganronpa. I don't really know the English name. I only know the Japanese name.
How is it? I was thinking about picking it up.
I mean, like I said, I feel like the series is not as good as Phoenix Wright, so I find it a little overrated. But I mean, at least the last few cases have not been as terrible as in the first game. The first game had like amazing 3 first cases, and I was like, this game has kind of just been like consistent. Like it hasn't been like too shocking, but I mean, I kind of like these style of games, so I can't really put it down and stuff. So it's good, but I wouldn't say like it's like Phoenix Wright 1 through 3 good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I also have been playing some Super Luigi U. I was like, might as well run through it. I did like 4 worlds in one day, and then I was like, now I occasionally like touch a world a day. One thing I don't like, I mean, I just hate Luigi's gameplay style, only because, I mean, I'm Mario biased, but I don't really like that no traction kind of thing. But these levels are all like, 100 seconds or less, so like it doesn't take me very long to do it. Like, and then it only makes me mad if I don't get all 3 coins on one run, because then I feel like a failure. So it's like. I'm like, yo, these levels are not hard, but they're not easy, but like I should be doing it in 5 seconds kind of thing. I think it's I forgot it was DLC, so I think it's pretty kind of cool that this is DLC. Like it feels like a whole separate game. Except the only thing I hate is when they force you to play Navid if you die like 3 times in a row. And I'm like, no, I'm dying on purpose because I want all 3 coins in one run. Like I'm not dying because I can't beat it because I'm a stubborn asshole. All right.
Mike, how does it feel to be a terrible player? You need to use
Oh,
Nabbit. Oh my God, you're just a
yeah,
disgrace to
no, like the
humanity.
one time I didn't know that happened. So the one time it happened was like world like 3 something, and I was like, "The hell is this?" So then I'm like, "All right, I can't beat the level." So I forced timed myself out, died, go beat another level, and came back. And I was like, "Don't they get that? I just don't want to replay the level. I just want all 3 coins in one run. Like if I miss the second coin, or if I get a coin, I realize it's the third one. I'm like, hey Piranha, just bite my head off, man. Just bite it off. All right." But other than that, the occasional smash. Freaking Joey, my brother, he went to the tournament I was at on Thursday, and I mean, I beat. I don't know if you guys know, I beat 2 pretty notable names this week. I beat Max Ketchum, Juice Doom. I also beat Ninja Link. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but you might have. If you know anything about competitive Smash, whatever. But yeah, my brother actually beat me in grand finals, so he took home like 150, and I took home only like 60. Jerk. And yeah, that's about it.
You just gotta take it from his wallet when he's asleep.
Yeah, that's it, man.
There's always something positive. Like my father said to me, it's always good to bring money home. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
$10 or $5,
Keeping
$5.
it in the family.
yeah, I know. I'd rather have, the most money. Like, I'd rather win because I'm a jerk like that. But, thank you, Flip. I got you.
All right.
I think that's it. Like, I feel like I played something else, but I seriously can't remember. Like, I legit cannot remember what else
What
I
I
played.
want to say is that probably next week, I think next week that I have a little more free time, I probably will be downloading the Ace trilogy, Phoenix Wright Ace trilogy from the 3DS, because you talked
Yeah,
a lot about that game and I didn't play anything about them.
Yo, play it. You're gonna enjoy the crap out of it. I'm telling you. The only reason I haven't bought the HD trilogy yet is because I want to buy it for my brother's 3DS so he can play it. The only thing the one thing that bothered me though, I did play it when it was like kind of like first announced and stuff, like at Comic-Con. I'm not a huge fan of the HD sprites they use. I don't know, but probably just because I'm a purist asshole. But
And it's not
I
actually,
think it's fantastic. But it's most likely I'm just a purist douchebag. Most likely.
and it's not actually HD because
Yeah, no, it's ageism. Come on, man. I can tell I had it. I'm like, yo, look how clean this looks. Right? Like everyone looked bigger and cleaner. Right?
With new Super Luigi U, what's the difference with it? Is it the same levels, but they remixed it kind of like what they did with Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time's other editions?
So I remember the other game I played. My Platinum Award, because remember you had to pick them by like last week. I just got Ultimate NES Remix, so I was like, everything else is crap. Ultimate NES Remix is so meh that I'm like, and they force you to use like, oh god, it's just not that good. But that was the game I got. Thank you for reminding me, Matt. But for Super Luigi U, I think honestly, I feel like some levels are mega similar to NSMBU. But at the other times, I'm like, all right, maybe this level was like designed differently. Like, I want to go back actually and relook at my NSMBU file and like, oh, is this level the same? Because a few of them are exactly the same. Like a few of the secret worlds are exactly the same. So I'm like, okay, I guess they didn't change that. But like a few of the other levels, like it's kind of like a condensed version of the level, so you run through it faster since you only have 100 seconds and stuff. The castles seem exactly the same though, so I can't really comment that like, oh, this feels different because like half the time I'm like, oh man, I feel like I did this before, but I haven't played that NSMBU for like a whole year, like a legit year from today. So it's like me kind of coming back and like, oh, I think I did this or something like that. But yeah, they're really condensed levels. Like of the ones I do remember, they feel shorter than the original.
All right. Well, okay, I pulled up this statement for the amiibo. Now, I'll just read this through. We appreciate the enthusiasm that our fans continue to show towards Amiibo. Sales for the product have exceeded our expectations. We understand how frustrating it can be at times if consumers are unable to find certain figures, and we apologize for that. So right there, they apologize. It's good. Moving on.
I like how you read it in a pompous attitude.
Yeah,
In a
well,
pompous tone.
that's pretty
You're
much
like,
what
we
it
feel
is.
sorry, blah, blah, blah. But
That's-
not really.
That's pretty much what it is. You know, you got to play to the character. We're trying to meet the demands of our fans and
Yeah.
consumers by increasing the amount of Amiibo we manufacture and
But you're
ship to
playing the same
retail.
character. You're playing the same character like the board member of Nintendo. I remember
Yeah.
now. It's the same voice.
I mean, I have hesitance to their actual statement, but at the same time, like, they're re-releasing Marth, they're re-releasing Meta Knight, they're at least in Japan releasing Villager, so
Yeah,
maybe they're starting to get there.
yeah.
So
I don't know. So this next line, he says, they're trying to meet the demand by increasing the amount of Amiibo, but then the next line say, we may continue to see consumer demand outpace supply levels for certain characters at times, but we will do our best to prevent that from happening. So pretty much they admitted that there will be shortages in the future, but they're going to try their best to make sure that doesn't happen. And then here's the one. Here's the one that really guarantees the fact that they're going to be re-releasing some of them, but really there's going to be a lot that are going to stay out of stock. As our library of Amiibo continues to grow, some figures will be easier to find than others. We are constantly looking for the opportunity to reissue Amiibo and are already making plans to bring back some currently out-of-stock Amiibo figures. Stay tuned for details. So pretty much, like, they're going to be reissuing some, but it doesn't really say they will be reissuing all of them. And it kind of seems like, as they said, some figures are easier to find than others. Obviously, like, there are going to be shortages, even though they're probably going to be able to keep up a little bit better with demand. So that kind of seemed like the summary of their statement there. But yeah, I mean, luckily I still got 2 extra gold Mario amiibos, extra Rosalinas, all this extra stuff for trade. So
one day you'll run out of Rosalinas.
one day. Good thing I didn't sell them, eh?
Gosh.
All right. What about you, Matt? What have you been playing?
Not much. Same thing with you. Only I finished school and I'm just dealing with crap after it. I actually forgot that Puzzle and Dragons Mario Edition, the demo came out, and I downloaded it like this morning, and then I forgot about it until like 10 minutes before the podcast. I was like, oh well, guess I'm not trying that. And then just playing a bit of Mario Kart.
Yeah. So tell us about that DLC. How's that 200cc mode? I know you talked about it last week, but I was gone. So
yeah. So it's weird. I think this pack is similar to what I thought of the last pack, where there's one cup I like a lot, and then there's another one which I'm kind of like meh on. Which one is it? I think it's the Bell Cup. I like it. It has Ribbon Road and the new F-Zero track and the Mario 3D World, at least in name level. 200cc is really cool. Surprisingly, it's actually makes a huge difference. I thought it was just going to be like a name thing, like, oh look, it's slightly faster, but no, they're serious. You have to use the brakes or let go of the gas or something, because you're going to fall off the edge like easily or bump into the side. So you really have to be careful with that one.
Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to play online at all?
No.
All right.
Yeah, but F-Zero stage is definitely like one of the best ones, if not the best, out of the pack itself, which is weird. It's like, the best track in your game, Mario Kart, is actually another racing game that you said there's no demand for, yet you're making a track for it.
All right, so prediction time. Will there be a new F-Zero game at E3?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, that's sad, because they keep teasing it, and I've never played an F-Zero game. Well, actually, I played the Game Boy Advance version, or whichever version. Never mind. Was on Virtual Console. Whoops.
Actually, possible, as in like, hey, someone else is like behind the scenes they're working on F-Zero. Hey, that would be cool to implement as a DLC track, and then it like leads up to the release of it. Or it could just be like, hey, people reminded us F-Zero was a thing. Why don't we try making a track? So it could be unrelated. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I'm sure they've got several announcements I think they're going to make at E3. I mean, you got Next Level Games with a game in development. I'm sure Retro's got something to show. So, well, I think that there are multiple new games we'll be seeing at this year's E3, even though Nintendo did say that it's going to be focused on this year's library. I still think that there's a lot of games that are going to be announced, or at least a few. So who knows? What about you, Flea? What have you been playing?
I've been playing like usually Monster Hunter, and we gathered together with friends. We played Yooka-Laylee CC Mario Kart 8 for weekend.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your thoughts on Mario Kart 8 DLC, and turn up your volume a little bit, Flea. You're being a little slow, or not slow, a little low.
Yeah. Okay. What I really like it a lot is that even if you are a pro Mario Kart 8 player in all the other CCs, it's bullshit in 2000 CC. You have to learn to play Mario Kart again. Doesn't matter if you are a pro player, if you play with Ayrton Senna, I don't know, the best drivers in the world. It doesn't mean bullshit. You have to start playing all over again, and I like that because each level offers you a new point of view at tactics, how to beat them. Because if your brain, the only thing that does is accelerate and turn, you will fail so epically in 2000 CC.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know what's interesting is that it would have made the perfect addition for another Mario Kart game, you know? Like, they're always trying to introduce something new, so the next Mario Kart game could have been the one to introduce this. But I think it's really awesome that they decided to not wait and really introduce it right away, which I think is really admirable on Nintendo. And their whole deal, like, Mario Kart DLC is great in the fact that it's so cheap and so much content. I feel like they've really gone good guy Nintendo for the whole release, you know?
I would like to say baby... Oh, go on.
No. What I'm trying to say is that Mario Kart 8 DLC, all the package, is one of the best DLC made in the industry since the DLC was available.
Yeah, I'd agree. What were you going to say, Matt?
Well, I was going to say, I didn't try 200cc on many tracks, but I did try it on Baby Park, and that's just awesome and insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just one giant loop, but it's like super speed.
I heard that you can get around like 11 seconds or something.
I don't even know.
Hey, Matt, I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I heard that because of the devaluation of the Canadian dollar, or the, I guess, in going up in value of the American dollar, game prices have been going up a lot in Canada recently. You know, Amiibos went from, I think, $13 to $16. And then game prices, I heard, EA and Ubisoft games are selling for $80 now. So, how is that, like, does it feel like games are getting a lot more expensive so quickly? I don't know, you don't buy as many new games on the other consoles, but does it feel like it's getting to be a much more expensive hobby?
Yeah, for sure. So, even when, I think it was just before the PS4 launched, maybe a couple of months or so, that game prices started going up, like even on the past gen versions, to, yeah, like you said, $80, and it's like, I'm not paying $80 for a game, because, let me see, give me a second. Oops, wrong. I'm just calculating, I'm just trying to find a game. Okay, yeah, so it's $79, and then with tax, it's like $80. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like I'm not paying $80 for a game. Like I already decided after I had some Best Buy deal where like all these games from E3 I could get for $40. I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying any more than $40 for a game ever again. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. Like even though there are devaluations and stuff here and there, it's kind of hard to imagine. I mean, I don't like. I doubt the salaries in Canada are going up at the same rate as the currency is devaluating. Um,
No.
and I don't even think it's not necessarily the Canadian currency not doing as well. It's the American currency just kind of like overshadowing it.
Mhm.
And it kind of sucks for all the other countries, with the game prices then being so expensive in the UK and Australia,
Yeah.
especially in Japan. Um, and it's kind of interesting to wonder, like, $80, I would never pay $80 for a new game, just like you said. And I can't imagine going into a store and just, that being the norm. Um, so, I mean, honestly, though, I don't really think $60 is worth it to me either. I usually wait for price drops unless it's like first party Nintendo. And even then,
Yeah,
I've
because
got,
then they never go on sale, so it really doesn't matter when the heck you grab it.
yeah. And the other thing is, you still have DLC in full force from all these companies. Like honestly, I would be okay with if games were $70, $80, if it included everything. Like all the DLC, no microtransactions, all this sort of thing. Because honestly, I mean, yeah, games are getting more expensive to create, and the companies need to make their money back somehow. So I'd be okay if they charged an extra $10 and just included everything. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But right now the current situation is kind of broken, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, it's weird because at one point I think um, our Canadian dollar was on parity or possibly
Yeah, it
worth
was
more
worth
than
even
the
more. Yeah,
American dollar, and like prices didn't change. But as
yeah,
soon as it dips a little bit, they're like, "Well, it's a new generation. We gotta cheapen or we gotta raise the prices. We just have to, you guys. Because your dollar's not doing as well for this very second, even though it was doing better before."
yeah,
Like
yeah,
screw off. Like the PS4, because it was selling so well, they got cocky and it was like $400 before, and a year or so after it launched, or I don't know, sometime after it launched, they're like, "Yeah, we're raising the price tag $50." It's like, you're a dick. I'm not gonna buy your console for $50 more.
yeah. And I think what's interesting is the fact that the the DLC, I mean, the downloadable games have become just such a good deal. Like the fact is, PlayStation Plus just gives you so many free games, first and foremost. Like, just so much free stuff. And Xbox Live to a lesser extent. But it's like, indie games are getting to a point where they're just as good as, if not better, than a AAA experience. And honestly,
Yeah, the reasoning also, excuse me that I interrupt you, Eli. The reason is that most of the free stuff and all the good deals, you gamers today doesn't have time to finish your games because the library will still increases at a high alarming rate for the things that they can play with their spare time.
yeah, I mean, there are just so many games released. And looking at downloadable games, I mean, I would much rather pay money for Shovel Knight than, say, like, Infamous. And Infamous wasn't a bad game, but 100% not worth $60. And I don't know why. That was the last. Actually, that's the only PlayStation or Xbox game I paid full price for, and I regret that. And
It looked terrible to begin with. Why would you buy it, though? Like, Infamous has never been that good.
because there wasn't
Like,
any. Well, actually, first of all, I really liked Infamous 2, but more importantly, I just didn't have anything to play, and it kind of sucked. Because then I play Dust and Elysian Tale or Shovel Knight, or I'm planning on playing Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'm sure is going to be wonderful as well. And those games are way better than any of those 60 or, in Matt's case, $80 games, or I don't even know, Flea, how much games are in Argentina. Um, Probably
Yeah, no,
ridiculous amounts.
here is really different because here literally gaming is a luxury. That any not all people can play games, and most of the people here that has the money to buy a system, they buy the system because they can pirate the games. So
I love
it's really a country where really not a lot of people buy originals and has the money to really invest.
Yeah,
And most of the people here or buy a high-end PC and then pirate everything, or buy a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 and pirate also everything.
And I guess that's also kind of the fault of Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo because they haven't created a large market down there, which is affordable and all this sort of stuff. In the way that that's the only way to play games, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we can move into some news. Matt sent me a decent amount of stuff. Let me just.
While you're looking at it, has anyone? I was just whatever. I'll just get into it. Superbell Highway on the new DLC tracks is pretty cool. Like I thought it was gonna. Whoops! Something's playing in the background. I wouldn't think a subway station would be that cool, but it reminds me of Coconut Mall, where there's like all these different pathways you can choose. And Coconut Mall was probably like my favorite track in Mario Kart Wii.
That's awesome. Oh, I love Coconut Mall. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll definitely play it before next week. Next week I'll talk about it.
Sure.
All right, moving down this news. Matt, that first piece is not news. All Smash taunts reenacted by some guy's dad.
Oh, that's just
I hate that video with a passion.
I'll watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it. All right.
No.
Okay, so now you can play Puzzles & Dragons Super Mario Brothers Edition demo on eShop, which, by the way, I need to download because that game actually looks really, really good, and I'm super excited to play it. So I'm definitely gonna buy it. Moving down, someone made an amiibo pre-order simulator in Mario DIY. I actually watched this. It was the funniest thing. It's just him. It's pretty much just a button to press F5 again and again and again. The minigame itself is not funny, but it's hilarious that someone came up with that idea. Moving on, Nintendo speaks about amiibo availability. We already talked about that. Whoops. Hyrule Warrior sales have exceeded 1 million units worldwide. Mike, what do you think about that?
Who cares? Like, legitimately, who gives a shit? Wow, it took like 2 years to get there, man.
Well,
Success.
actually, okay, I actually called this last summer, I think. There was an article with the producer, and he said something along the lines of, like, I think 200,000 units will be considered a success, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was kind of amazing, and I left a comment, and I'm like, I mean, honestly, I'd be surprised if the game sold less than 1 million because it's got freaking Link in it, and they were doing so much promotion on the game, and I guess it sold 1 million, so good for them.
Yeah, but you want to know it? Okay, it's like the real question is Skyward Sword sold well. You want to know something? But people stopped playing that piece of shit. All right, and that's exactly what every sap dumbass who bought Hyrule Warriors and expected something fun just stop playing the game. All right, and only the 1% of these fools buying DLC are like still supporting it. It's literally sad. That's literally the only way I can say. It's sad. If somebody, it means more like 1 million people got tricked. Only 5,000 to 10,000 people actually play the game. That's legitimately what it means.
Well, I mean, actually, I'll be honest, I bought the game and I only played through a few levels, but that wasn't because I didn't necessarily like it, it was because I just didn't have time to complete it. But as I said, there was a guy on our website who thought it was his game of the year last year, which I just couldn't understand. But I don't think the game is terrible. I think it's decent.
For me, it's a lot of fun.
There you go. We like it. Alright, moving on. Nintendo's studio Next Level Games is working on a new title that is online. Now, we don't really know what that means. For all we know, it might just mean there's Miiverse integration. But,
or Street Pass or something.
Yeah, but assuming there's actual online multiplayer, what do you guys think it could be?
For what?
If anything. Next Level Games, because they're the guys behind Luigi's Mansion,
Mario Strikers. Which is what people are thinking.
Yeah, everyone's thinking Mario Strikers.
We're gonna do Mario Strikers game? Alright, I'm down. That's a great series. I don't think people understand how good that series is. Like, Mario Tennis sucks compared to Mario Soccer. Alright, that's how good it is.
Yeah, so I also think Mario Strikers is a good possibility because the last one turned out pretty well, and it could actually be good for voice chat, cough, cough. But, I mean, I could cough all I want. I could probably be dying. Nintendo still won't listen.
There will be in the future technology with holograms to play online, and Nintendo won't have voice chat.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they might do a different sport, because they tried the Mario Wrestling. That was, well, not leaked, but they showed it off before that was canceled. So
Wait,
they might do a different sport. Yeah, they had a Mario Wrestling thing. They showed off a couple animations and like.
Oh, I remember that.
They had Mario like 3v3 basketball, and then they were also in NBA Street. Like I don't think they really had like they didn't really give it a real shot. And then they had that sports mix with Final Fantasy guys, so they had like volleyball and stuff in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Strikers. I'd be happy with Strikers just because I like soccer. But I mean, they've already gone in so many different routes. There was a baseball game. There was a.
Like how many more sports can they really have? Like
yeah.
Lacrosse. Like, come on.
No, don't.
Let's not get to look crazy here. Extreme bikes, like I don't know.
Extreme biking. All right.
I'd like to see something different from them. Because how many? Like, what else could you do with soccer?
Yeah.
Unless they do football, soccer.
Oh.
Oh wait, no. Yeah.
Let's not do football. Moving on. Sega won't have its own booth at E3. Good. I mean, I don't. What would they show? They don't have anything. Last year, didn't I tell you? Last year's booth was sad. It was just broken versions of Sonic Boom running on the Wii U and 3DS. It was just a sad. They had a huge. The booth itself was really well done, but the games weren't, and it was. I don't know why. It was just sad. And it was like the poor PR lady trying to get us to like the game and I don't know.
How much longer is this demo?
Yeah. It's a shame because they used to be so revered and now there's not really anything. Turok is getting an HD remake. I don't know anything about Turok, so if anyone wants to take that from here.
Alright,
Turok is
yeah, it's an FPS dinosaur hunter kind of game. It was pretty popular back when the N64 came out. I think, Matt, was it a multi-platform, or that was only the later ones that were multi-plat?
I'm not sure.
Alright, because the game most games that require the N64 controller, what was the name of the memory card for the N64? Anyway,
the memory pack or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a different name for it. Alright, well, it was one of the few games that required that, and most of the time when a game required that, that meant it was like a port. Like, it was a shitty port from a PlayStation 1. It's kind of a cult classic. It's, I mean, you're like in a dystopian future kind of thing, but it kind of seems like the past. Like, you start off with a knife and bow and arrow, and then you get like a nuke gun later on. Like, it's really, like, it's over the top hectic, and it's kind of like, it was like the first ever FPS game, but it had, like, no real goal, but it was just really niche and cult classic like it was mad fun shooting like hunters with shotguns and then blowing up a raptor with freaking missile launcher. Like there's no apparently there's a story and the Turok 2 is mad good, but as someone who kind of recently replayed it a year ago, I just enjoy it for its stupidity, but like I don't really like the game like that.
So what could they possibly do in a remake?
Just clean it up.
Clean it up, because you said it sounded like it wasn't really, like, it was important for what it did, but it didn't really sound like anything all that special.
It's not special at all. No. It's literally like one of those, like, think like, not like Duke Nukem, like, it could be compared to that, but just think of, like, playing a game one time and being entertained, and then, like, if you're good enough to actually be interested, you'll unlock some special stuff. Like, because there's like 6 different worlds. There's actually there's not a real hub world, but there's different gates because you collect timepieces. But that made it sound interesting, but it's not though. Like it's not. It's just the game starts and you hit new game, you get just dumped into this world with a knife and a bow. All right, that's it. and it's just all you hear is this one drum soundtrack. All right, like yo, go get an emulator and play Turok for 5 minutes. Realize how stupid and terrible it is, but funny at the same time. That is the best way to explain it. It's terrible but funny. Okay, but not funny like Banjo-Kazooie funny. Like funny that it's just so terrible that it's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay because someone posted N64 footage, and the dinosaurs don't really look like they do a whole lot. They just kind of walk towards you and attack. There is one guy that looks like a golem that like punches the ground, and there's a giant like shockwave. But
you're looking at the last
the only cool thing I see.
Yeah, that's like very end of the level-ish though. Like the first level was like a rainforest. Like you could swim in that game. You get an over-the-head map while you walk. Like that stuff. It was like like smart for some stuff, but like I don't know. Maybe just not my cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a really niche market though, but it was always in Nintendo Power. They legit it was like always in there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we'll see how that pans out. Mighty Number 9 will release in September 15th for the Wii U and 3DS.
And it will have a physical release also.
Yeah, but the 3DS version is being delayed. And yeah, so I actually have a question. Mike, aren't you a Mega Man fan?
Yeah, big one.
So did you ever play 9 and 10?
Yeah, I did. I beat them both.
Even though they were downloadable?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Are you going to play Mighty Number 9?
Of course, man. What the hell? What do you think I am? Some jackass? Like?
Well, you didn't play Shovel Knight.
Well, oh no, Shovel Knight. That's totally Mega Man, bro. It's not Mega Man, bro. Alright? It's a wannabe Mega Man bitch ass made by no one on Capcom.
Whoa. You haven't even played it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. So but now I'm confused. I might just buy an Xbox One just to verse the Battletoads. Like, I legitimately might just do that. Like, that's how
Wait a second. You just said it's crummy ripoff, blah blah blah, and now you're saying you might buy a whole Xbox One just for it. Make up your mind.
Yeah, I can't.
So crappy that I love it and want it.
It's been on sale on the PlayStation Network store for like a week, and I still haven't bought it because I know it's going to be free. So.
Nah, you don't know that.
Oh, I know. The game's been out for a while.
All right. But I mean,
I heard Kratos isn't as good as the Battletoads, and obviously Kratos is whack. Like that series is whack.
it's cool. It's cool that they release all this free DLC, like, which is freaking awesome. Other playable characters, and that's just so cool. They're doing it right.
Speaking of Shovel Knight,
Kickstarters, bro. All right, let's talk about Banjo-Kazooie, the Kickstarter.
Wait.
I just want to say, since we're talking about Shovel Knight quickly, that's one thing I was kind of bugged about. Like, Sony got Kratos, Xbox got Battletoads, like a console-specific character, and someone asked them about that, and they said for a Nintendo boss, they would want to put in Tingle. I don't know how that would really work.
Yo, you know what would be cool? Retro Donkey Kong, like the ones that throws barrels. Cranky Kong one. Like, I would do that. Cool. Like, I wouldn't mind that. Or some cool. Like, why the hell Tingle? That'd be lame as hell.
Actually, yeah, that'd be cool with Donkey Kong. He could have a little tower he sits on, and then he throws barrels like towards you, and you could bounce off the barrels to like climb up to him. Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, like, Retro Donkey Kong would be kind of cool, like, thing. Or, like, maybe, you could fight, like, King Dedede from, like, the very first game. They gotta think, like, guys who are not only in Smash, but, like, their 8-bit, 16-bit version of them. And, like, when their boss fight was cool and memorable and stuff. But,
yeah. The guy said he would choose Tingle because if he's gonna choose a Nintendo character, he wants to choose, like, the most absurd thing possible. Which kind of makes sense, because you don't want to choose like a tried and true or, I don't know, an expected thing. You want to go nuts with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's his choice, obviously. It's not like I could be like, hey, dude, you're wrong, even though he is.
All right. So you Mike, you did bring up the other Kickstarter, which is Yooka-Laylee.
It's the first one I'm actually thinking about backing because I was too late to back Toe Jam and Earl being remade. So like, it is like legitimately, guys, I might actually back a Kickstarter. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, Mike wanting to back a Kickstarter project? Oh my god.
Big world ending. You gotta watch out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was the fastest Kickstarter to raise $1 million. It's on a roll. I think right now, let me just look it up really quick, but it's continuing to raise tons of money. It's hit almost all of its stretch goals. I think there's only one left. It raised 4 times its goal in a single day. It's pretty much this new game being created by the guys that used to work at Rare. They just passed $2 million. So there you go. By the guys who used to work at Rare, Rare, and they're creating this platformer. Looks a lot like Banjo-Kazooie in the regards that it's 2 characters. One kind of helps the other fly. This whole thing. Now, I didn't do as much reading up on it, so Mike, do you mind describing a little bit about what you see in the game and why it's so cool?
Yeah, Matt, did you watch the? There's like a kind of like a semi gameplay video of it. It's not really gameplay. It's kind of like one of those like trailer like gameplays. But did anyone else see that?
I think I watched it, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Like from what I've read and what I've like seen, like obviously they're trying to get the same premise as Banjo-Kazooie. There's no like distinct kind of like, oh, we're aiming to make it just like Tooie or Kazooie, even though Tooie's better. Like. It's the same. Basically, it's like a 3D collectathon thing they're trying to get going. Like, that 3D platformer that's been missing for a long time. And I forgot the exact name, so I'm gonna still call everything Jiggies and all these notes. But what I've seen, like what really got me in is like legitimately like this looks just like Banjo-Kazooie. Like if you watch, like once you watch the trailer, like or you just take your time looking at it, not only does it look like clean and beautiful, like it's just like, oh man, like. This is something I feel like I haven't played and I've wanted for a while, and it's like by people I know and trust. And like on the bottom of their Kickstarter, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm one of the guys who made Diana Country and Banjo-Kazooie and Viva Pinata." And there's like that 4th game that I never played, but I always wanted to. You know the name, Matt? Like they made a game for the Xbox.
Cameo.
That's it. Yeah. Was it good?
That's some
I don't know it. I always wanted to try it, but I never had an Xbox.
Yeah, same here. It was one of those games I was like, oh, I should totally play, and I just kind of keep forgetting. But then it kind of always just comes back. But like looking at it, like it's like something like I think we've been like waiting for. Like think about like how 3D platformers have aged throughout the years. Like PlayStation 2, like kind of capped off. Like that time period was like, all right, we got Jak and Daxter, we got Ratchet and Clank, we got Sunshine sucks, so we're not going to count that. But like that was like the end of like 3D platforming. Everyone's like, okay, it's coming up, and then like FPSs, which were like the niche market, are like, okay, that like took off, and the other one, and 3D platformers died. So it's like, where did it go? Oh, we had this Mario Galaxy, if you can really think about it, over the last last couple of years. So. And like looking at this, just like it's something you want to support. Like it's like a game, like it's gonna be clean. It's coming out for all systems, which kind of sucks. But obviously it's a Kickstarter, so it's it's fair. But if you back like a certain amount of money, you can get it for the console of your choice. Otherwise, most of the backings give you the PC version. But like legitimately it. Like I don't know anything about the game that's like really out besides like what they stated, which is basically a Banjo-Kazooie player's guide. Like it's like 3D worlds, and they mention all the artists, and they're like, oh, we want to make it like Banjo-Kazooie, and you can kind of see the elements. Like literally when he double jumps, and you can see freaking Laylee kind of like fluttering. You're like, all right, there it is. There's that AA I was waiting for.
Yeah, I have a couple of bits of news or details on it if you want to know. So what they showed off is only 3 months of work, which is pretty good.
Oh, that's impressive.
What they showed off, it looks kind of like a vertical slice, but I don't even know where I was going with that. No, but it looks good. It's like a little testing area, I think. But one of the cool things they want to do is so one of the problems with 3D platformers, specifically Donkey Kong 64, that everyone breaks on, is that it had too many collectibles and they all did nothing. But what they want to do with...
I love Donkey Kong 64. It's like
I know, I thought it was good, but they're like, there's 5 different bananas, and you got to switch between characters to collect it and this and that, so they had a legitimate point. But what they want to do with this one is Pages. It's basically the Jiggies of this universe. You can use it to either upgrade your character or unlock different, well, not unlock different areas, but you can expand the world that you're in. So let's say the jungle world you're in. You can spend X amount of pages to unlock like a new area of it, and it'll, become open to you to do other stuff. So I don't know. That sounds like a really cool idea. Rather than having the whole area at once, you can expand it if you want. You don't even need to finish the game, but it's there.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
Say that word again. Say that word again, like the pages.
Pages. Like a page, but you know how you add IES to everything?
Oh, okay.
Like to make it cute.
Pages.
Yeah.
Sounds a little Italian. If you like stress the first part. Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, of course, since I am young and like a baby, I didn't grow up in the N64 generation. I mean, I played N64 games like Smash, but only because of people I knew. So I never really had the chance to play all those wonderful 3D platformers of yore that you guys all talk about. So I mean, since they've been lacking so long recently, I'm happy to finally be able to experience what you guys have been raving about all this time.
Yeah, the one thing I was gonna say, man, it's only missing its last stretch goal, which is like 1.5 mil pounds, which is just to get the orchestral
but
score.
They'll totally hit that by the time they're done.
Yeah, so that's literally the only goal that's missing. So.
And the cool thing is, they actually had funding from someone before to make like a small scale version or whatever, and the Kickstarter was just if fans wanted the game to expand more, and clearly they do. So we're gonna get a pretty big game on top of what they were already planning.
Yeah, I mean it's so awesome, man. It's kind of one of those things where the industry has gone so long without a game like that everyone flooded in to support it.
Yeah.
Well, no,
they also want
backers. You know that, right?
What?
Yeah, funny though. I was want to point out something about one of the developers of the game said, "This is why we don't listen to the investors because they always say to us that this game will not work." Something like that. They tweeted.
Yeah. Matt, what were you saying about the, Mike?
Yeah, I was going to say they also would like to have amiibo support.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if they want to make their own. It sounds like they might want to make their own if they could. But that would be cool to have that in. And one of the Kickstarter goals is to have an N64 box of the game.
Wow.
Just like it was back in the days, which is awesome, except it costs like $535 if you're willing to spend that, which I'm not. But it's cool that it's there.
What about, Mike, what were you going to say about the backers?
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I was going to mention. There's not many backers. 40,000, game sales-wise, kind of sucks, if you think about it. But at the same time, it's more, you gotta look at, these people, the people who backed it, including myself after this podcast, when I get that $32 backing, yes, we did want this game, but maybe, not that many people want it, or it's more like the backers are ones who are leading the charge and other people will buy it, so maybe it'll sell really well, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Shovel Knight.
And it's
I
just...
hope it has the same success level like that.
Yeah, and I mean it's just the tip of the iceberg, really, in the fact that you look at the sales for Shovel Knight, and they talked about the fact they actually released all their sales data, and I don't remember what it looked like, but they got way more than just the Kickstarter in the end. I think they made 300,000 sales in the first month, and that's not counting the Kickstarter. So they made a good chunk of money, and this is just the backers here are what's going to make the game so good, and then the game being good is kind of like a cycle, and that's what's going to get more people to buy it once it actually launches. And it's kind of applicable. First of all, 40,000 for a downloadable game is pretty good as it is, and it's definitely going to be more than that by the time it actually releases. So.
Oh yeah, because you got to think that there's people who don't know about it until it's like on the store.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving
Matt,
on.
you back? I was gonna ask before you, or no?
Wait, what?
Yeah, any of you back or no?
I have not. I've never. The only Kickstarter project I've ever backed is Nintendo Force, the magazine. So I'm not. Oops, I'm not really one for backing games, even though I'm usually the one that gets mad at you for not doing it.
Not yet. This week I'm going to be back to it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't really care much for backing games. I backed one of them, Scale, and then I think I put down $5 for Mighty Number 9 just to get, just so I could be part of the, not contest, but just the feedback and voting on things. But yeah, I'd rather just wait till like the game's out to put money down.
I also backed Mighty Number 9, but that's because simply I hate Capcom what they did with Mega.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time, if you back these things, like if you throw down like $5 or $10, you save what you bought. Like you know you're gonna like they usually give you the game if you back it for like $5 or $10 though.
No, it's still
Well,
like the same prices.
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I mean, here if you back, you know, £10, you get the game. It's like okay, like. You know what I mean? It'll probably sell for like $14.99 in tax, like when it comes out.
Yeah, it's usually cheaper to back just because you're helping to support at the beginning. Okay, so I'm just gonna read through a few quick pieces of news so that we can get to reader mail since Leah said we have a ton. So first of all, Sakurai says more modes will come to Smash besides tournament mode. We already kind of know that there probably will be a boss battle mode because of an audio file. Atlas is probably going to is bringing Legend of Legacy to the West, which is a RPG game that launched at the beginning of the year in Japan.
I want that game so bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Moving on, Fire Emblem If gets a few more details. Not going to read those here, but it will support Amiibo. There will be a Splatoon Direct on May 7th. Check that out. I like that Nintendo more and more now is doing like individual game Nintendo Directs. That's pretty cool. Alright, so Nikkei estimates Nintendo will post a 25 billion yen operating profit for last financial year. That's like $200 million. So that's not a loss. That's good. They're going to be making money. Plus, if you actually account for that's just operating profit. I'm sure if you take into account the currency exchange and you look at the actual overall profit, it might be even more because that's what usually happens. Usually the overall profit is more than the operating just because of the currency exchange. So that's pretty good to hear. Splatoon bundle is now exclusive to Amazon Canada?
No, so what happened was last week I read an article saying the Splatoon bundle is exclusive to Best Buy. And now it's on Amazon Canada, so it's not exclusive anymore.
Okay.
I don't know. That was dumb.
Watch Dogs.
So they made everyone order it that day, and then
yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 is in development, based off a LinkedIn profile. Funny story, actually, because I wrote an article about that on Nintendo Enthusiast, and there was, I think, a good 8 comments saying that game would never come to the Wii U, and that I should not be posting irrelevant articles, which I thought was funny because it is kind of relatable, but more importantly, this kind of shows why games like Ubisoft's games aren't successful on the Wii U, because you guys are treating them so poorly. And, I mean, sure, Watch Dogs 2 came late, and that's probably one of the reasons. But let me just say, at the beginning of its life cycle, and for about a year afterwards, Ubisoft treated the Wii U wonderfully. Everything came over, everything worked, everything was functional as it was on other consoles. Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4, Rayman Legends, not Splinter Cell, but, what was it?
That
Oh yeah, Splinter Cell. all those games came over Zombie U. The Wii U was treated great. You guys did not buy their games. Well, not you guys, but Nintendo fans did not. Stop complaining. And that's not really targeted at our audience because I don't care. I don't think any of the Nintendo enthusiast people are listening to this. Amiibo Tap launched. Anyone play Amiibo Tap?
No, I forgot about it.
I forgot, and I only have one open Amiibo, so it wouldn't matter anyway. Whoops. Another one, Disney Infinity 3.0 Star Wars characters leak. Thank God I don't collect Disney Infinity characters or Skylanders characters. I'd be totally screwed. They calculated the total cost for the new Lego stuff. It's like $300. I don't have that money. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. There's a situation. We don't know whether this thing is coming to the Wii U or not. They said at first it was just coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC. But then you'd think, well, where are the 360 PS3 versions and the Wii U version? But then we found that there was like a way to log into your Nintendo Network ID on their website. And then today, the Activision sent out promotional materials for Black Ops 3 to the mods at Reddit Wii U. So we kind of have no idea whether that game's coming or not. And yeah, that kind of concludes our news. Flea, do you have a question for us?
Yes, we have a lot of questions. Thank you guys for the feedback. But most of the people asked the same question, so I will summarize it like this. What is our personal favorite 3D platformer and why?
Ooh. Honestly, I know this is recent and people don't like recent games in this sort of conversation, but Galaxy 2 has got to be the best one for me. I know a lot of people like Galaxy 1, but for me, Galaxy 2 is the pinnacle. It improved on everything the first one had, introduced tons of new ideas, refined the gameplay style. There's actually a video on it, I forgot what it's called, but pretty much there's this type of specific Mario type of development style, which really only came to be perfected towards the Galaxy 2 era. All the ideas were creative. The game was colorful and beautiful. 3D platformer, my favorite. Yep, Galaxy 2, hands down.
Galaxy 2. It's garbage. Well, it's not worse than Sunshine.
Alright, Mike, what's your favorite then?
I don't know. It's so hard to choose between Super Mario 64, Banjo-Tooie, and Donkey Kong 64 because they're the pinnacle of greatness.
Oh, it sounds like
if I
trash.
wanted to
That's
play
what it sounds
a mediocre
like.
piece of shit wannabe, game, I'd play Mario Galaxy 2 or Sunshine. I'm like, oh, so that's what it means to put no effort and slap a good character on. But for me, what makes those three games I listed on the N64 so fantastic is it's really like when there's more of a world inside the world. Like for me, it's like if the hub world is fantastic, it's like so much better than what it was. Like in Banjo-Tooie and Super Mario 64 and Donkey Kong 64, like the hub world is so elaborate. Like I feel like the levels are like, oh man, like that's cool. But like the fact of exploring new areas to get to this area first, it's awesome. Like it's legit like awesome. I love that feel. Like it's like, yo, I couldn't go to the top of Donkey Kong's head in the beginning of the game, but now that after I unlocked Diddy's jetpack and like maybe like a mega cannon burst or something like that, I was like, oh my god, like look at this. Like I didn't know this was here. It's freaking awesome. For Banjo-Tooie, I just love like all like the mini games inside its game. Like I love like collecting, all this stuff and just checking out the games, but I love like there is so much more in it. Like I could there's the stupid kickball mini game, there's like the third person shooter game. And I'm like, hey, yo, I freaking love doing the quizzes when you have to fight Gruntilda and it questions you about the game. Like I think that's awesome. And just Super Mario 64 it's just amazing itself. Like and watching speedruns of it is like the only game I could ever watch a speedrun of is art. That shit is art. It's not even a game. It's shit's art. Alright? But yeah, if we wanted to talk about second tier, then we go to Galaxy and Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and then we have Galaxy 2, and then on the bottom of my shoe, we have Sunshine.
Ooh. All right, Mike. What about Matt? My God, I'm so sorry, Matt. What about you?
Come on already.
It's not like I don't know who you are. It's just that I'm about to say Matt, and for some reason Mike comes up.
Oh man, Mike just keeps bringing up more 3D platformers that I forgot about, and I'm like, oh yeah, that game was awesome, and that game was awesome. Oh my gosh. I don't know Galaxy 1 because Galaxy 2 sucks. Galaxy 1 is definitely up there.
Yo, Galaxy 1, yo, the observer, whatever the hell it's called, the damn deck, like, I love that. Like, oh man, like, I would spend so much time looking for new stuff on the deck.
I don't know, Ratchet and Clank is, like, one of my favorite series, too. Like, after my friend let me borrow his PS2, I always saw the ads for Ratchet and Clank, and I'm like, I wish I had that. I wish I had a PS2 because that game looks awesome with all the crazy weapon ads. And then when I finally got to borrow my friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, this series is amazing. I have to get it. And I basically bought a PS3 just for Ratchet and Clank. That's how awesome it is. I don't know. So that's up there as well. I guess I'd just stick with Banjo-Tooie because it's just so awesome.
It's so good.
I don't know. There's not much. There's not much else I can add that Mike hasn't already said about it.
Dragon Kazooie, when you get like just getting Dragon Kazooie it's like it's something so good itself. Like the game, like there's nothing wrong with Banjo-Tooie. It's like a legit a perfect game.
Yeah. All the humor, all the transformations. You can turn into a van. You can turn into a washing machine that spits out like underwear at people.
Yo, Cloud Cuckoo Land, the fact it's so big.
Stupid Canary Mary.
Yo, but the thing is, that level, besides the fact you get to fight the evil Mumbo Jumbo, what is it, like Jumbo? So he was like Jumbo Mumbo, but freaking that level, like Banjo-Kazooie gets separated. You get to learn separate moves with them. Like that's how good Banjo-Tooie is. Like,
but I guess rather than just repeat the same, I'll give some honorable mentions that are games probably no one's really played before or heard of. One, Space Station Silicon Valley for the 64. So basically you're a computer chip that takes over an animal's body, or robot animal's body at least, and then you can walk around and do things like that animal does. So as a dog, you can bark to herd sheep, or you can bite animals. You always have some form of an attack. And basically, if you kill another animal by attacking it enough, you can control that animal as the host and move around and basically collect stars or jiggies or whatever the main collectible is to finish the level. And you just have to collect. You just have to finish objectives like herd the sheep in this thing or whatever. But you can do it in multiple ways, however you want. You could kill all the sheep and move them in manually if you want. You could become the dog and just bark at them. It's so cool to just kill a new animal and see what kind of what new abilities it has. Like I think a turtle has like a machine gun on it. It's really weird, but it's funny. And then the other one is Rocket Robot on Wheels, which is kind of a more slow-paced game. There aren't really any bosses. It's more puzzle-oriented than action-oriented, but there's some cool puzzles in it, and there's quite a few cool mini-games. Like, I don't know, there's a carnival one with different mini-games there, or you can make your own roller coaster, which is like the main reason I rented it when I saw it on the back of the cart. Like, you can make your own roller coaster, that's it, I'm renting it. That's all I need it for. But you have like a tractor beam, and you have all these other abilities. You gotta like paint yourself to fool a guard at one point. There's just a lot of cool stuff about it, and it never really gets any love. And Sucker Punch just forgot about it, basically. Like, we did Sly and Infamous, no one cares about that game.
Alright. Cool that you chose some interesting choices there, Matt. Alright, I hadn't really heard of the second one especially. Alright.
Yeah, no one ever does. I'm like the one or two people on the internet that remembers it.
Alright.
Man, did you play Chameleon Twist or no?
Oh yeah, that game was awesome too.
Yeah, because I was like, alright, like, for me, that's that game you said, that robot, whatever, for me, that's Chameleon Twist. Like, it's like, hey, you play Chameleon? No, I never heard of it. It's like, alright, but it was awesome.
Well, I went back to play it for Uno Clay's, like, retro blog, the first one at least, because I don't have the second one, and it doesn't hold up as well, I'd say. It's kind of annoying. But it was cool, because you could use your tongue to grapple on things and spin around, and then, bugs and stuff and shoot it at other enemies. Doing the what is it in Mario 64? It's like a backflip where you do Z and A to go up higher. Yeah, in Chameleon Twist, it's a pain in the ass because you have to like
I
run.
love that, the pogo kind of stick thing where you stand up with your tongue and your mom. I love that, man.
It was cool, but when I went back to play it, it's so hard, and because the screen is blurry, like trying to get the depth perception and like jump on other blocks is just insanely annoying. Because you'll like run and then do the backflip thing, but you kind of like angle backwards and then move forward, and it kind of like lose momentum when you do it. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an interesting game. The second one was better from what I recall.
All right.
I don't know. I think the first one had multiplayer, so for me that's better.
All right. Let's move on to last but not least, Flea. What about you?
Yeah, I will be quick because there's not much to say about this game. I am 34 years old. I was gamer since I had 5 years, I think, for the first time that I grabbed a controller in my uncle's house. There was a moment in my gaming personal history when I passed the gaming as a hobby, and after I saw this game, it became some sort of a religious, a cult, a sect. That way was the extreme that I changed the first time I saw gameplay of this game. I think till today Super Mario 64 is one of the best games ever made by mankind. Yes, I agree. It's my favorite 3D platformer. I loved a lot of other games. It's not on my, surprisingly though, it's not on my personal top 3 games of all time, In my personal top 3, it's Ocarina of Time, Super Mario World, and Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Those are my favorite 3 games of all time. But I can't deny what that game did in that time, and the awe and how my jaw dropped the first time I saw that game played on my TV. It was like a dream come true. Everything that I dreamed, when I literally dreamed at night of how Mario could be in a 3D world, that game is like I was playing my dream,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I remember I actually played Super Mario 64 when I was super young. The first time I played it was my family went to Orlando. I think I was 6 years old, maybe 7 years old. And for some reason, they gave us a discount if my parents sat through a timeshare presentation, and so they put me in daycare. And all I did for 4 hours was play Super Mario 64, and time just flew by. And I thought, and still to this day, I remember the awe I had when I first played it for the first time.
I remember when I was playing that game with my cousins in my home. When I reached a new level or explore a part of a level that I didn't know, I said in loud voice, I dreamed about this stuff,
Yeah.
So that good, and also it had some sort of purity that all the other entries and future entries of the series didn't have. I think it was the last Nintendo game that remained pure,
Yeah. That's interesting. All right. Sorry to wrap this up quickly, but we've about filled up our time. So why don't we just go around and tell people where they can find us? I'm Eli. Paulosalon on Twitter, Paulosalon on my IGN. Check my work out on NintendoEnthusiast.com. Moving on, Mike.
Alright guys, Troy Fullbuster, Twitter, Twitch, also Super Nintendo Bros on YouTube and IGN. I think that's about it for me.
Alright, Matt.
Alright, I am the Mango Viking on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Cool. And by the way, let me just say that name is so freaking cool. Okay.
Thanks.
Alright, Flea.
First of all, thank you guys for the support of my last blog. I mean, all the community and all the people on IGN and IGN. This was my 4th blog that got published on the main site, so I'm really proud of myself. And I'm really trying to make more interesting blogs so we can generate more debate for not only our listeners but gamers in general. That's the main objective here. Have ourselves, have our backs, and keep gaming. So thank you very much. I'm Fria D'Aloisio from IGN, and just remember that just another caster podcast have YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Don't forget that. You can find us anywhere.
All right. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.